All right, we are live. What is going on, people? It's the weekly stream, Sunday fun day. I actually managed to post every single day, even though I kind of scraped by. I had some reserved videos I didn't really edit, didn't do thumbnails and all that sort of stuff. But feeling pretty good actually. I was actually going to do a separate like weekly hustle about how my week went in terms of goals, and just showing you kind of the behind the scenes, the BTH. But anyways, guys, if you guys are just tuning in, make sure to drop a comment, shoot a question, do whatever you want, because this is the time where I pretty much, I just want to serve you guys and see what's most helpful for y'all. And going forward, I'm going to be doing some more interesting content this week. As far as major wins, I started talking about a lot more high ticket sales. I've been coaching actually a few people, so that's been really cool. I honestly was really apprehensive about going in the coaching world, but a lot of people were asking me about my high ticket sales process, like business owners and whatnot, and I've just been doing that, working with them, and I actually secured this really good client. He offers a really great um, uh, email, not automation, but he does copywriting, email copywriting as well to help e-commerce companies. So I had a little arrangement where I'm taking a percentage of his sales, his top line, just to train his sales team and stuff like that as well. So real excited for that, and just building out my signature process. And this week I've just been so focused on building digital assets after digital asset, right? On Kick-Ass Investing, I'm doing a low ticket offer on that, teaching people how to do personal finance for that. Or sorry, yeah, personal finance bootcamp. So I'm planning to do that, and then there's a few more digital marketing type of stuff. I also met a really cool person too. She actually, you might follow her. Her name's Lisa. She does study guides. She's from Australia. It was really cool just connecting with her. And I connected with a few other business owners and stuff this week. But life has been going pretty damn good. Yesterday, I watched Suicide Squad and Harley Quinn. I haven't watched a movie in forever, so that was really fun. But let me turn on my comments. I haven't turned on my comments quite yet. Let's take a look at it. Dr. Lee says, "Hey Kevin, sending good wishes. Thank you, appreciate it." Yeah, I know I had one video about feeling lost and I shot that actually 2 weeks ago. So there was that. Shot that. Yeah, and I was just feeling really, really crappy. I mean, that week I lost one of my clients. I was just really burnt out. I couldn't sleep. It was just really bad. I haven't felt that way in a long time, so I just documented it as well. And that actually, my camera broke on that freaking trip. My G7X, the one that I always rave about and all that, broke. So I was really bummed about that. Thank you for the likes, by the way. Really appreciate the thumbs up as well. I was actually thinking about perhaps doing a smaller segment group or something like that as well. I'll announce it, like maybe I'll do a Zoom, like private Zoom or something like that for a community. Just thinking about how much time I have to implement all these things as well. So I want to do something like that. I think it'd be really cool to do it every once in a while. Maybe I'll make it a Patreon feature. Maybe I'll make it a mastermind. But just really like until things start slowing down with my current client, because pretty much engaged for the next 8 weeks, so pretty long time as well. ABC says what up, or says, "Hey Kevin, what's up ABC? What you up to, ABC, this week?" And Dr. Lee, what are you up to this week? Clamaris Jr. says, "Hey, sup, what is up? Let me know what you guys are on to this week as well." But I will tell you this, I mean, one of the best things that's been happening to me recently is I just feel very balanced in my life at the moment. I'm like working out. I have a really great trainer. I've been just on volume training, not super like straight, like hardcore powerlifting, which honestly was probably frying my CNS, and with all the stress and all that, it wasn't good. So I just feel pretty strong at the moment. I'm feeling very revitalized as well. So I don't know. It's been my current client for high ticket sales not doing too well actually. So I'm not sure if that project is going to pan out or what's going to happen to it. But I have other things on the table too, and I'm not trying to get so distracted with everything as well. So that's what I've been up to in terms of that. But there were some major wins, man. Like honestly, I've made more progress in terms of clarity. I've just been by working with a coach. Honestly, it's really been helping because I shoot him my questions sometimes um, about like, hey, how does this sound? And he's really good at communication, and he's just been helping me kind of come up with these one-liners, these taglines, and stuff like that too. Maybe I'll show you guys actually. Let me pull it up. I'll show you something else. And I've been listening to really great podcasts. One of the podcasts on digital marketing by Mike Kim. Been also really involved in my friend's digital marketing program too, Rich and Niche as well. So check that out if you're interested in the comments below. But yeah, uh, Michael Mata says it's easy getting in dental school. I have no idea. I'm not even in dental school, man, so I can't really help you there. But yeah, so I've been working with my coach and stuff like that. So let me show you guys this. And he's been just helping me kind of refine my like who I am, what I do, and all that. Let me close this stuff, right? But I hope you guys can see it. It just helps just having this as well. I need to memorize it too and remember it because I actually got a speaking gig this week too. And they were like, hey, can you give me a headshot? Can you do this? Can you do that? I was like, oh crap, I got to start working on all that sort of stuff, have that ready, lined up to go as well. So yeah, the angle I'm going to go is I help young professionals escape work they hate and transition into a kick-ass life that they'll love. I teach them how to build digital assets, rewire success. We're also going to change this to redefined. Not quite sure, right? Redefined, because he was talking about my pharmacy background and stuff. Redefine success and build relationships that support a more fulfilling life, right? That's what he said. As well, in terms of kick-ass investing, I have one for that. In terms of high ticket sales, he came up with something like that as well. So basically creating something for all my service offerings, for all the things I'm known for as well. So I can just get rocking and rolling and stuff like that too. So that's what I've been up to. Let's see, we got 8 people in the group. Yeah, so looking kind of, I don't know, this is actually pretty normal, to be honest with you, in terms of the streams. But it's crazy, man. I've been even creating like pitch decks and stuff. Like I literally, well, this is one slide as well. I use it to kind of print out everything, but it puts out all my client deliverables, my timelines, and all that sort of stuff if you guys are interested. But yeah, that's kind of like the business life of me that you guys don't really see. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to share that a little bit more. In terms of other business, or in terms of pharmacy stuff too, because I know a lot of you guys who watch me talk about pharmacy. I actually have a few really cool interviews coming up. I have a interview with I had the interview with the optometrist. I had someone who just recently finished pharmacy school that I'm interviewing. Probably after she finishes, she's a new grad. I'm going to be interviewing her after her boards are done. So there's that. And then what else? Have a really interesting interview with a Shark Tank winner, and my editor was saying this was a really good episode. I was like, yeah, it should like I put a lot of TLC and thought into it. So that was supposed to come out on Saturday, but my editor unfortunately had a few family issues, and also like Wi-Fi issues too. What I learned this week too was just like, holy shit, sometimes with if you're working with an international team or anything like that, man, there can be a lot of headache and back and forth, especially if you have like deadlines and stuff. And so I'm still getting used to kind of managing that overseas and stuff too. So that's been pretty it's pretty rough as well. But yeah, man. And I also gave like 2 sales trainings to a few digital marketers as well for their agency services. So everything all in all, it's pretty good, man. I'm just like, I just feel like I'm on this high right now, but I'm also being very wary about my energy because I know like sometimes I get overzealous like this and I burn out really quickly as well. So one of my good friends, he's my consultant friend. He was just saying that, hey, Kevin, you might want to consider dropping one of your projects because I don't know, I just don't want you to get overloaded and stuff like that too. And that's something try to keep in mind as well. So there's that. We got Brent Savage in the house. What's going on, Brent? Welcome to the YouTube stream. Uh, hey, Kevin, are you making good income with the stock market investment these days? I'm worried about the change in president. Stocks might tank. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm worried about. Well, I wouldn't say I'm worried, because here's the thing: what's gonna happen is gonna happen, right? Um, Here's the thing: like, I believe if Trump loses the election, stocks are probably gonna tank. You're going to see a mass, most likely you'll see a mass exodus out of California, high tax states as well, because even in places like California now, I think they increased it to like 16.8% or something like that in terms of taxes. I mean, basically taxes, like that's a primary reason why people are going to move out of California. I've also thought about maybe perhaps like moving to Vegas or something like that as well. I've seriously considered it. Even though I love California, I love like jujitsu out there, but there's 10 planets out there and stuff like that too. So it's not the OG location, but really, I just want to get better at, like, it's a lot of things are happening. There's a lot of uncertainty, but hey, it is what it is. Why do you think you're behind at 30? I don't know. Like, in terms of, so the reason why I think I'm behind, well, I wouldn't even say I think I'm behind. I mean, I guess the point that I'm trying to make is, like, when you compare yourself to other people, you always feel like you're behind. And for me, this is for me, but I felt like when I left pharmacy, I had to take multiple steps back. I felt like I had to basically revert back to my old younger 20s and stuff, and sort of start over again, which doesn't bother me. It would definitely bother me if I was like 40 or a lot older, but it's taking that brief L and putting that hold on your goals, right? Because honestly, I was, not to say that I'm on a bad financial trajectory right now, but definitely it's definitely not as strong as when I was in pharmacy, and I could have kept that life if I really wanted to, but that was a sacrifice I chose and decided to make. And I don't blame anyone, but that's just the path I chose, because I didn't think, like, as much as I love money, as much as we didn't really have money growing up, I also know money is not everything. It's backed by trust. I mean, Kanye West on his Joe Rogan, uh, and you might feel some way about Kanye West, but good thing about Kanye West was that he was talking about in Joe Rogan. He was like, dude, money doesn't mean shit. Relationships are everything. And I was at that point in my life where, in pharmacy, the people I was talking to, with in pharmacy, they kind of, I don't want to say piss me off. Like, I'm talking about coworkers, but they were just different, right? Like, they just had a different attitude on things. I was always thought very differently. Dealing with patients, it was great sometimes, but a lot of time it would get very exhausting for me, especially not taking a vacation. That is my fault, honestly, for not taking enough breaks and stuff. But it just wasn't that lifestyle. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I literally saw my friends um go down the entrepreneurial route as well, and the life that they lived. And I was just like, dude, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're not making as much money, as long as you're making enough to support your ideal lifestyle. That's all that matters. And that's why I talk about feeling retired at this point, right? Like, in my life, that's what it feels like. So I guess that's an answer as well. Are there more men and women in the medical field? I have no idea, man. That's something you could probably look up on, I don't know, some Bureau of Labor statistics. I have no idea. I think pharmacy is predominantly, don't quote me on this, but predominantly women still. But yeah, I remember back in pharmacy school, a lot of the ratio, there's a total opposite of engineering school. Dude, engineering school was like 80% dudes, 20% women. And in pharmacy school, it wasn't that extreme, but it was predominantly women for the most part. Yeah. Real estate seems way better than stocks. I mean, there's no, guys, there's, like, you just got, when you guys are investing, you just got to realize these are different vehicles, right? Not one is better, like, good or bad. There's a pros and cons to each of them as well, right? And if you want to diversify, portfolio, it might make sense to have multiple. And personally, for me, I'm not a huge real estate guy at the moment. Not to say I'll never be, but I definitely looked into things like rental arbitrage and all that sort of stuff too. But like I said, I can't balance too many projects all at once because I gotta make sure that my digital assets are set in place and growing as well. So there's that. Let's see who we got. We got little smiley girl. I'm not sure if you remember me, but I reached out to you months ago telling you I failed my NAPLEX. I felt so discouraged. I felt so discouraged, but I just want to tell you I passed. Oh, that's great. Congratulations. How do you feel now that you passed, by the way? That's awesome. So yeah, I think you reached out to me. I can't remember, like, did you reach out to me DM or whatnot? You probably went under another alias because I don't remember like little smiley girl as well. Thank you for so much for your encouragement. No problem. Brent Savage says, hey, hell yeah, little smiley girl. Little smiley girl says, I'm studying for MPJE and it's so dry. Do you have any tips on how to study for it? I failed twice with 73. Last time I took it was almost a year ago. Feel so discouraged right now. Definitely would not like little smiley girl. Don't take advice with the MPJE, man. I mean, I only took the CPJ, which is pretty much the California MPJE. It's the law exam, which is all clinical. So don't ask me, man. Probably ask someone in your community that's taking the same exact exam, probably within a shorter amount of time as well. At this point, I'm about just a shy of an inch away from starting a lawn and snow removal service. Hey, you can. I mean, honestly, with that sort of thing, snow removal, it's honestly, it's a service-based business. So the great thing about it is that you don't have too much to lose. I mean, other than the equipment that you'll need, but it's a drop in the bucket and you can really, I mean, there's really not that much to lose, to be honest with you, right? I had 30 people in my cohort and there were 22 girls and 8 guys. So that's pretty bad ratio, but yeah. It's better. Yeah, so like yeah, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny, the ratio. Actually, think about it now. You're right. Majority of my friends were actually females in pharmacy school. To be honest with you, there were a few males, but it was majority females for the most part. During undergrad, when I was preparing for farm school, someone told me that farm school is a guy's heaven, more likely for a guy to find his soulmate. Yeah, there was a lot of thirsty guys in pharmacy school. I was probably hella thirsty, but honestly, I would have been hella thirsty. But I think during my first year of pharmacy school, I actually was dating this girl. After, like, it was a pretty bad idea. I don't think it was like a rebound per se, but you know what? Like the girl previously was dating. And I was like, you know what? It's just time to move on. I found another girl that I just really got along with in my first year of pharmacy school. We didn't work out, and I was just forever burned on relationships until even now, man. It wasn't that last girl's fault, honestly, but I was just so freaking tired of investing my time into relationships that to me it just really wasn't worth it at that point, and that was like the last like relationship I was in, man. Pretty crazy as well. Super Jiren, what career paths do you recommend for people in general right now? That's a super broad question, Super Jiren. There's a lot of different careers, and honestly, like, giving general advice like that, it doesn't help anyone, like, because everybody's a little different. Some people are more analytical, some people are more creative. Like, there's so many things to consider as well. I mean, if like, yeah, so I can't really answer that question, Super Jiren. I don't even know where I would start with that. What's the best meal that you had recently? Oh man, Tim, you're asking the hardcore questions. Let's see. The best meal that I had recently. Like, if we're talking about decadent shit, like really, really good shit that I really liked, the last place I was really good was I'm gonna post it maybe this week or something, but when I went to New York, we had this yakitori place, which was like, it's a Michelin star place. It was pretty freaking good. I really enjoyed that a lot, and I forgot what it's called. I shot a video of it. Oh man, but it's a Michelin star yakitori place. And if you don't know what yakitori is, it's these skewers. They're known for skewers, and it was just really, really bomb. Like, especially the things like the chicken wing and stuff. It was like perfect, the perfect amount of crisp and all that as well. By the way, if you're tuning in, make sure to smash the like button, please, as well. There's that. But that was pretty bomb. In terms of like everyday meals though, I think the last like really memorable meal I just had was just like, it was very simple, man. Like I was just eating I was eating a salad, honestly. Like it was this bomb like salad. Like so my mom, so there's this Mexican place down the street from where we live and whatnot. And they just like, it's just super basic. It's just like a regular salad, but their steak is really, really good and they throw that in. And then it just has like guacamole, pico de gallo, and all that sort of stuff as well. And it's just really basic, but I just really enjoy it because it is pretty flavorful, and I don't like it's not cheating on my macro. So that's something that was really good recently. In terms of worst meals I had recently too, it was like, dude, I went to what's that place in New York? I went to Keen's Steakhouse, and everybody was telling, like, all the food reviewers and stuff on YouTube was like saying, "Yo, that the mutton, you gotta get the mutton. That is the shit. That is the best, right?" So I ordered the freaking mutton, right? Right when I cut into it, it's like raw inside. It's like completely raw. And I was like, is mutton supposed to be like, is this how, I don't care about raw stuff, to be honest with you. But I don't know if it's, I mean, it was just was like literally cold as fuck inside because I was trying to cut it and it wouldn't cut. And I was like, dude, this is so weird. So I was like, hey, is this supposed to be like this? And they're like, no. And so they heated it up back over again, but it just was not good. I did not enjoy it. My friend also gave me a piece of steak. It was like a whatever type of steak. I could probably make a better steak at home. So, man, I honestly, between Keen's and like something like Peter Luger's in New York, I gotta go with Peter Luger's. That shit is bomb as fuck, you know. So that's kind of like a meal that I've been thinking about. Like that was a really disappointing meal in New York. But honestly, when it comes to meals, I've just been hella simple. I mean, like I love Korean. Oh yeah, you know what was really bomb too? Like more recently, within the last week, my mom and I went to this Korean spot, and we just had like the tofu soup, sundubu, and all that, and that was pretty good. Apparently, I found out that the place that I really like, they use like a bone broth like in their sundubu, which is, I've never heard of that before. I'm not sure if like it's super popular, but it tastes so different from the other. Even like when I go back to California and K Town, like it tastes so different. It's bomb here, but the rest of the Korean food in Boston like fucking really sucks. It's not that great. And fun fact, actually, growing up, I didn't really like Korean food too much, to be honest with you guys. Like I was like, this is like the worst food ever. But it turns out it's not like I didn't like Korean food. You know what? It just turns out that all the Korean food around me just really was not that great. Because when I went over to California, it became like one of my favorite like cuisines out there too. And living in K Town all the time, like dude, we used to grab Korean food all the freaking time, man. So yeah, it's pretty bomb. Man, I went off on a major tangent right over there as well. That's pretty cool. Mm. Let me ask you guys, what's the best meal that you guys have recently had as well? Yeah, I'd love to kind of hear your thoughts. But I mean, in general, I mean, my meals have been so boring. Like, literally, let me read off my fitness pal to you because I'm trying to diet right now with my coach. Let's see, I ate a Japanese sweet potato. I ate some bananas. I ate like three eggs. I ate like one short rib from Trader Joe's. I drank some protein powder, collagen. Actually, I didn't drink my protein. I got to do my protein powder after this as well. But I drank some protein powder. I ate some greens, ate some cauliflower stir fry, ate two slices of cheese, and and like a random salmon salad. That's literally what I ate today. So crazy. So yeah. Super Jiren, how was your experience working as a pharmacist? I feel like I've covered this pretty in depth, Jiren. I mean, obviously, like I'm not in pharmacy anymore, even though I'm still a pharmacist. I wasn't very happy with it. It's just, I mean, I recently I've just been thinking about like why I wasn't really happy with pharmacy. And I think even from the get go, it was all the things that was supposed to make me happy on paper. Like, yes, the pay, yes, the doctorate, but even like on paper, like it was like from what I initially thought, it was going to be a bit of science, helping out the population and stuff. And so, I thought it was kind of a good marry of everything. But I think like as I got into it, I just got really burnt out, just doing the same things not every day was the same thing, but the same problems would come up, and just dealing with the public is just really, really tough. And obviously, I'm speaking from a community aspect as well. I'm pretty sure that there's people who are not in community who feel super, super happy about their job, and props to them. If they're happy, that's great. But for me, like, there's so much opportunity in digital space, and I truly believe in it. I truly believe that this will be the future of everything, and this is the only way to really recession proof yourself as well. I believe in building digital assets, right? If I didn't, then I wouldn't have left, right? I would have gotten some other sort of job. But honestly, like, I love digital marketing because I'm always using my brain. I'm always refining my communication. If you watch my videos, even when I was doing the pharmacy vlogs and all that back in the day, like, the way I speak now is very different from how I was back then. It was very interesting. So if you guys are a part of Kick-Ass Investing, I think either in the masterclass or even the academy, but definitely in the academy, you'll see the way I speak right now is very different than now. And my friend was saying, like, dude, it's almost like talking to two different people. It's like one is like dad version and one's the ratchet version. I'm like, I'm still ratchet inside, man, but I guess like recently I just haven't had a chance to kind of relax too much as well. And yeah, I'm just getting older too as well, so it's kind of not hard to keep up with the younger generation. But man, everything just goes so quickly as well, right? So there's that. um let's see. Dr. Lee says, I'm hunting for that wagyu, man. I just don't want to break the bank to try it. A5. Yeah. My dad actually tried it in Japan before he passed, and he was raving about it. He really enjoyed it a lot. For me, I would love to. I'm a huge like beef fan as well, so like any steaks, all that sort of stuff. I'd be down for some wagyu. I hear, like, I don't know. I watch all the blogs and stuff like that too. Um, but you know what? I've also realized too, I'm not much of a foodie, guys. I'm just like, I enjoy food. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy like a really great meal. But honestly, you know how people are just like food is life and all that? I mean, food is food to me. It just like, it's just nourishment at this point for me as well. So there's that. I got pretty depressed comparing the Chinese food I had back in Florida to what I have available now in Texas. Well, dude, Haga, where do you live in Texas? Because funny thing, I had Hagao in Dallas, and it wasn't too bad and stuff like that. But I don't know. It must depend where you are in Texas, because I would say, like, honestly, when I went to Dallas pretty recently, it was like a mini Cal. It just felt like California, y'all. Like, seriously, it felt like California. Had all the same joints that we like, all the chain joints that we have in terms of like boba and shit like that. But also, like, the food was really good down there too. So and plus you don't got to deal with the LA traffic as well when I was over in Dallas. So yeah, my really good friend, he keeps on asking me to come down and go visit him. I'm thinking about taking him on that offer, um, but especially when I go back to California as well. So there's that. Um, Tim Kirk says, I don't think it's possible to be happy in pharmacy if you work for a chain. Just not enough resources and terrible hours. Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's not. The resource pool in pharmacy is atrocious. Is really, really freaking bad. It's really bad. Like, I honestly, I swear, I probably have some like PTSD from all that sort of stuff too, man. No, it wasn't that bad, but honestly, it was just very stressful. I felt very stressed all the time. I always felt this anxiety of like waking up tomorrow and like, fuck, I need to go to work, right? Which isn't that's not a, that should never be a normal feeling and a recurrent normal feeling as well. Some people argue they're just like, hey, it's a job, you're collecting for a check. But honestly, to me, it's living out of integrity. It's so close minded because, come on, out of all the out of all the careers out there in the world, you can't find one that you might freaking like. I don't know. It's just the dumbest argument ever that I think of, right? But some people are just complacent with that, and that's how they cope. And I'm not going to tell people how to live like that, And if you're like that, that's totally cool. But to me, that I was like, I cannot live like that, right? So, but that's how I felt, and I would get like, not anxiety attacks, but I just remember I get so frustrated, and it would bring out the worst in me toward the end of my career, right? And especially like, I don't know, I just didn't feel valued. I just felt like churn and burn, churn and burn. Here, oh, pat on the back, Kevin. You hit some of the best numbers, and you hit some of the best numbers in the US and like compare to all of the other chains and stuff, or compare to all the other stores, and guess what? You get like a pat on the back, and that's freaking it. And guess what? We're going to increase your goals. And I'm like, why am I doing this anymore? Like, what's the point, And I just really lost. I thought I wanted to be a supervisor and stuff like that. But honestly, if I moved up, I really think I would have like honestly ended up like one of my DMs, and like one of my DMs actually committed suicide, just because of everything as well. So it was pretty bad, man. 2010s is when food became a new religion. Yeah, it's so interesting. Like the food, like freaking Food Life and all that sort of shit. It's crazy. It's crazy to see how many foodies. Like it was the trend that I saw when food became like a trend was probably when Yelp Elite started popping up. A few of my friends started becoming Yelp Eliters, and they're like, yeah, let's go review this place and stuff like that. And nothing against Yelp Eliters, man. Like if they like Yelp Elite and all that, like that's them. I couldn't spend all that time creating that content for Yelp and all that. That's just not me, man. But yeah, that's when I noticed a huge change in how people looked at food, how people are like, I live for food. And I'm like, definitely I'm not one of those people that lives for food like that. But don't get me wrong, I do enjoy like a really good meal, especially like a very homey meal type of thing. I'm not really much of a bougie type of bougie. I'm not the bougie type of person as well, but I just like, yeah, I mean, I personally would eat the most like fucking disgusting thing if it was good for me, man. Like that's the type of person I am these days, A rural area in the middle of nowhere, Dallas, Austin are fine from my experiences. Social media and YouTube plays into it with Travel Channel. For everyday meals, I'm fine with bulk prep, but I do get cravings for those hole in wall Chinese barbecue places. Dude, Hagao loves the seal up places, man. Like, I'll tell you this, one of my favorite go-to meals back in like 2009, 2010, when I was living in Hong Kong for a bit. I used to get the xiao gai bei fan, like the soy sauce chicken leg and whatnot rice, and that shit was so bomb. I used to have that every single day because guess what? Because it's not just regular soy sauce, they add sugar to that shit, which I found out later. Maybe that's why I gained so much weight after coming back from Hong Kong and shit. But I was eating that every single day and I loved it. Well, it wasn't the only thing I ate, but I like the Chinese food over in Hong Kong was like lit. It was so good. It bums me out that I probably will not be going to Hong Kong anytime soon that I know of as well. So yeah, but man, I swear after I came back from that Hong Kong trip, like seriously, my taste buds like completely changed. I was eating like all the shit I would not eat, like a lot of the, if you ever go to dim sum and stuff, like before I never ate like the tripe, the tripe, the white stuff, right? I never ate that. I didn't eat the chicken feet or anything like that. But when I came back, I ate all that shit. I ate like feng zhao, ngao bao yi, all that sort of stuff. I actually enjoy it. And I think ever since that time, I just gone down the rabbit hole of eating really weird fucking shit, and I enjoy it. I don't know. So, and I legit enjoy it. Right? It's not just for novelty. I just enjoy those dishes and stuff. So, pretty weird. Dinara Ishakova says, I keep on hearing pharmacist suicide here and there. Glad you managed to escape. Yeah. I mean, mental health is really big. And by here's the thing for those pharmacists here, for the pharmacists that are watching this, how many of you guys feel like trapped, right? Because that's how that's the only thing that I felt trapped. I'm not saying other people should feel the way that I did, but that's the only feeling I could remember, like feeling trapped, feeling like I didn't have any other options, and feeling like any other options were just like a mountain to climb, and I just felt stuck at the time, right? And digital marketing for me was the only thing that I care. Like I thought it would be my salvation. It would be everything that it was cut out to be. But that's it's and I wasn't in a good place. I felt like I would spiral. Like I would tell myself that, stay positive, stay positive, stay positive and stuff. But it was very, very hard in the middle of all that too. So that's just my experience. I don't know if other people are doing the same. And I recommend, like, honestly, I think one of the best things, like, I had a life coach at that time, but think about it, back then I probably needed something like a therapist just to kind of deal with all the BS from work and stuff, and and have some sort of professional help. I think a lot of pharmacists probably would need that, but I don't know. It's a difficult situation as well. But after going through therapy right now, for as a entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, I find it very helpful and very therapeutic sometimes. So yeah. Um, let's see. What area of pharmacy should I go into when it comes to work-life balance? I don't know, honestly. Um, let's see, because I'm just trying to think of like people with the best work-life balance, and work-life balance is always really tough. Like, I don't know. I would have to get back to you on that. I don't really know. And in terms of, if you want to talk about like work-life balance, man, um, be specific. What are some of those non-negotiable things that you want in your life as well, right? And that should help filter out some of the careers as well. Escape from Pharmacy, starring Kurt Russell. Who's your BFF? Why is he or she your BFF? I don't have BFFs, man. Like, I just have really close friends. I mean, I don't see the point of categorizing friends like that, man. Like, each friendship is a little different. Obviously, you got your down ass homies like that you go to talk about anything, and then you have your further out. Then you have your down ass homies that you don't talk to that much, right? Like, I would consider Joe one of those people. I don't really talk to him that much, but I consider him down ass homie because we've gone through so much. When we do talk, we just pick it up and chop it up like old times. Yeah, like, seriously, that's I mean, it's kind of like that. But I think in terms of all my friends, I think we just have this mutual understanding is that we got each other's back whenever you need anything. Like we're there, and it really showed like who a lot of my friends were, like when they showed up to my dad's thing. I didn't ask anyone to, and some of my down ass friends, they didn't even show up, but it's okay. I don't hold it against them, right? I don't know. I just think, like, me and my friends, we just have understandings, like, where, as you get older, as you build up these relationships, you realize that you don't have to talk to each other. Someone who I haven't seen in 10 years recently, when I was back here, and we just chopped it up like old times, to be honest with you. So there's that. Yeah. His BFF is Stacy. The reason she's an ABG. Although I have to say, no, Armor Ghost isn't lying. I am very attracted to ABGs. Like, that is like I don't know. That's like the inner primal me that likes ABGs. Like, seriously, I don't know what about it. People are like really shocked because they're just like, Kevin, you're so much better than that. I'm like, yo, I'm just looking for an ABG with a PhD, man. I don't know, but no, seriously, so funny. I'm currently on break as a CNA. Have you ever considered going to PA school and being a PA? I never considered being a PA, but seeing my friends who are in PA, it's a very competitive program, by the way, a lot more competitive than pharmacy. Okay, so there's that. But PAs are, I mean, I think PAs are going, they're in high demand at this moment. They might go, I'm not sure if they'll ever go through something like we did in like with pharmacy back in like 2006, right? When there was a high demand, people were giving out sign-on bonuses and all that sort of stuff. But I definitely see a bright future for PAs because they're honestly putting, from what I heard, and this is all speculation, but from what I heard, they're actually putting out a lot of primary cares out of jobs as well, because they can essentially perform, I don't want to say same, but very similar roles that accomplish the same outcomes as your doctors, who cost a lot more money as well. So they're great cost savings as well. And they provide really great care, honestly. One of my friends, she was actually a CNA for a bit. She got her hours, I think, through that. I'm not quite sure. I got to ask her. And then she became a PA as well. And she's living a dream out in California, man. Work-life balance is not a reason why people should see work. Probably manage care for life balance. They tend to have good schedule, but it's not very rewarding, says Tim Kirk. Let me think. Let me think really hard. I don't know. Maybe VA, honestly, being like working at the VA or something like that. You get your weekends, and I remember my preceptor, she was like super, super happy at the VA and all that, but I don't really know, to be honest with you. In your opinion, what's the best type of work to do as a pharmacist? Best type of work, I mean, let's see, what do I consider best type of work? Like, honestly, okay, so if I were to consider factors, super impactful, right? I know what it is. I honestly would love to be a public health officer, as well, like a public health officer. I thought that was really cool. I would love to serve in PHS. That's what I originally wanted. Do something like a government job, I think, back in the day. But these days, I don't even know. I mean, honestly, here's the truth, guys. If there was really a ideal type of work I wanted to do in pharmacy, I probably would have went for it. But I just never found anything that caught my eye. Even like going industry or something like that just never caught my attention, because I'm sort of like a rebel. I don't really not listen well to directions, but I'm an out of the box thinker, and I don't really belong at a lot of jobs, to be honest with you. Like, I'm just very unconventional, and I don't know. When I hear job, I'm just like, this fucking shit sucks. But when you're like contractor, like I don't know, I feel like I have more sense of control or something like that. It's a really weird feeling as well. So there's that. You only achieve work-life balance when you leverage your boundaries interviewing for the new job, meaning you'll quit your current job and risk not being selected for the new job. Unfortunately, with so many pharmacists and less positions available, it's tough to strong arm when you negotiate an offer. Yeah, supply and demand. Although there's tactics that you can really use, but chances are, if somebody's just going to say yeah, like, you just got to think about the least resistance. If somebody's going to just say yes on the dot, like off the bat, and you're trying to go back and forth, it just doesn't make sense unless there's some immense value that you can provide that no one else can. And that's really defining your USP. But especially with a lot of these pharmacy roles, what they're hiring you for, I mean, they probably just rather take the risk on the less pain in the ass type of client, honestly. But there are tactics in terms of negotiation and all that, which I can cover. I love, by the way, I love negotiation. I love persuasion. I think that's something that I really enjoyed. And that's something I really enjoyed about pharmacy too. Like being able to persuade someone, make habit change and all that. I just really enjoyed that aspect of pharmacy as well. I want to become APA, but to be honest, I don't think I'm smart enough. And my undergrad grades suck so far. Bro, I have 3 midterm exams, 2 lab reports that need 10 plus pages, and 2 PowerPoint presentations. And I also need to do work. I'm stressed. How do you deal with stress? Oh yeah. And Dr. Lee says, Kevin is a maverick. You just go for it. You do things. Well, more recently, I've just been doing things, executing. Honestly, a lot less mental masturbation. Honestly, it's kind of like sometimes we just tell ourselves, I want to do this, I want to do that. Well, if you want to do it, just like honestly, there's a piece of it where you just have to execute, and you'll figure out things on the way. But that's a really hard lesson that I've been learning over these last few years, where I spent way too much time just learning and studying and being like a bookworm, like in fucking pharmacy school, like, memorizing stuff. Even though I know a lot up here, like now it's time to put my fingers to the keyboard and just actually start executing. So yeah, man, that's why I've been, yeah, it's pretty crazy. But you're asking about you're asking about stress. Honestly, a lot of it is just not. There's a few ways to deal with stress. One is like straight from the get go, don't overcommit to things. Right? You have a certain amount of work capacity, all that. Your body has physical limits whether you believe it or not. If you don't like for me, I track my HRV as well to just see how stressed I am and how turned up I am. So I use that a lot. But your body does have limits, and so one of the easiest ways is stop overcommitting to things. Don't take things that are going to fucking kill you at the end of the day, right? So there's that. But also in terms of, like, let's say, okay, these things, they're non-negotiables, fucking gun to my head. Second thing is just like, hey, prioritize your time and focus. Chances are, I mean, as much as I love the freaking ad revenue from this, like one of the things that I will also tell you is like focus, right? So focusing on one thing at a time, managing your time, strategizing your time, as well. If you're doing homework while watching this, as much as I love the ad revenue, you probably shouldn't be doing two things at once, man. It's kind of like, dude, imagine this. I'll give a very lewd example. Like, so if you guys have this on speaker, you got kids around, make sure you turn it down a bit. But it's kind of like if you were trying to masturbate and like study at the same time. Do you really think you could do that? I don't think so, to be honest with you, right? So there's that. But yeah, how much money do you need a year to be happy? Let's see. On a monthly basis, to be happy, I mean, like bare minimum for me, I'm okay with like 2K. Like I'm okay with 2K. I can live off 2K. It's not a big deal. Like 2K per month. It's not ideal, but I'm happy. I can, like, I'll tell you why in a second, right? Like in terms of a nice living place, I don't really care too much, right? In terms of that, the only things I really care about is if it was normal times, I would want my gym membership, my jujitsu membership, and my yoga membership, and massages and acupuncture. That's pretty much all I really care about. Buying gear and stuff, not really too much. Although I like to buy books. That's pretty much it. I'm super, super happy with it. And as long as I can like go on trips whenever I really want to, that's pretty much it. Maybe a little bit more than 2K, but that's the bare minimum I think I can live on, right? Obviously I've lived on quite a bit less, but yeah, like honestly, I was really happy, and I'll be honest with you guys, I was really happy in college too, man. Like I was really happy in college and all that. So I don't really need that much to live, to be honest with you. There's that. Kind of curious for you guys, how much do you guys need to be happy? And more importantly, what would you spend that money on as well if you're listening to this? My break's done. I look forward to rewatching your live video soon or after work. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Wish me luck. I will, man. Good luck as well. Tim Kirk, it's whatever your parents tell you. Mental masturbation. Yeah, it's so true. Mental masturbation is my old fitness coach, my old powerlifting coach used to tell me that as well. Like he used to tell me like like stop mentally masturbating and whatnot as well. Like just thinking way too much and whatnot. So I tend to do that a lot though as well. I think in LA I need 160 to 200K, but money doesn't bring you happiness. Yeah, and there's definitely a difference too, like in terms of money, like happiness, right? Enough to sustain as well. Like ideal scenario where I feel like I would really be thriving, which I know I can hit as well. If I play all my cards right. What's let me do it. 30,000 times 12, 360. I think 30K per month would be pretty cool. But honestly, even 10K a month I'd be okay with. Again, like it's not a big deal, right? I just like the reason why, like, I think the reason for me is that I don't need a lot of money to be super happy is because I know what makes me happy, right? I've had a taste of like what bougie life, not excessive bougie life or anything like that, but had a taste. And honestly, I was never a materialistic type of person. I know what makes me tick, and I just really like anything that helps me consistently learn, perform at peak performance, and all that as well. But that's like living in the now. I'm not talking about like retirement or saving for the future or anything like that. That's just like living in the moment as well. But obviously, more is good just because I could just take out my friends more and treat them out to eat or just do random shit. Like, it doesn't matter, you know? So there's that. Um, it does once you figure out your Amazon wish list. Enough to cover my bases while accounting for inflation, so it'd be fire-ish, but I wouldn't want to be fully retired. I think most people would want the option to be retired as well. Like the option doesn't mean that you have to step away, but I always talk about that as well. Yeah, and something like inflation is really important. Like even though it's crazy, man. So yeah. Anyways, I think that is pretty much it. I'm gonna wrap up this stream because I got some goals that I need to finish with my coaching with my coach. I got to update him on how my week went, all that sort of stuff. So I just want to show up just to hang out with you guys and stuff like that. I might end up doing a private Zoom or something like that for this community as well. So I'll probably shoot out an email on my email list or something in the near future. But I'm gonna talk about it with my editor and stuff like that, figure out the logistics and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, anyways, I really appreciate all y'all that have kind of taken the time to tune into the stream. I love y'all. Setting shoots a freaking heart. No, I didn't want to highlight mental masturbation or anything like that. But yes, I think I've highlighted everything. Yeah, and make sure to stay tuned for some of the content especially if you're into digital marketing. And I'll talk to you guys later. Take care, guys. Peace.